Pool is like a serious responsibility. You can't f up pool. Like you really do have to get it right. I don't know how I feel about the White House saying we're not now going to decide who's in pool.
Megyn Kelly showed some rare concern over the Trump administration's attempt to control the White House press pool. The Trump administration has been feuding with the media and major news organizations for the last few weeks, including barring AP News from Air Force One and other White House events.
So what? I'm all for it. Let's do it. It's a battle. We are in an informational civil war. Megyn Kelly, get with the program. Megyn Kelly is going to get a react here from the Young Turks. And Cenk Uygur, you do not want to miss him going off, giving us a little bit of inside baseball on the Young Turks clip here, reacting to Megyn Kelly. Caroline Leavitt is in this clip too. What we're talking about is the press pool, White House press pool. Should Trump be able to choose who goes in there and out? We're going to get into those details. Back to Cenk Uygur and the Young Turks.
In their latest move, however, earlier this week, the administration announced they will decide which news organizations and reporters are allowed to be part of the press pool. First, Cenk, what is your initial reaction to this?
Well, I like that she was a little bit honest about it. I was greatly amused by what her co-host said, which we'll get to in a second. And I think this issue is a little bit mixed. So you have to separate out how they treat the press in the White House press room and how they treat the so-called pool. Why is that different? We'll explain.
Let's pick up on that though. What is the pool? Because some people might not be familiar. The White House press pool was created during President Dwight D. Eisenhower's term to solve a practical problem. When the president makes news on the road or at the White House, which of the hundreds of White House correspondents get to be there? The answer, developed through cooperation between news organizations and presidential administrations of both parties, was the creation of a small group of correspondents, TV cameras, and photographers who would be the eyes and ears of the broader White House press corps in those small settings.
This is the evidence and the beginning of the gatekeepers. We just saw that there was files with somebody named Jeff, who is famous because of their island. And you had these gatekeepers friendly to Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, probably against the Young Turks, and probably more on the Megyn Kelly side. They got the document, the binder. It was phony. They got set up, but they were the chosen ones. So this is a part of it, what they did with those fake binders, and that's a whole different story, a whole different failure that implicates Trump, in my opinion. The tie-in to the White House press corps and the pool is that's what they want. They want those people that are under their control here. But is that a new problem? I don't think so. Give the channel a comment, and I'm going to keep on going. You don't want to miss Cenk Uygur going off here.
Today, the makeup consists of 3 wire service reporters, 2 print or online reporters, 1 radio, 4 photographers, a television crew, a producer, audio technician, and a camera operator. The choice of which correspondents are a part of the pool normally was left to the White House Correspondents Association and news organizations. However, that's all changing now. Caroline Leavitt stated on Tuesday the White House would decide who gets the pool spots, not the WHCA. Moving forward, the White House press pool will be determined by the White House press team. Legacy outlets who have participated in the press pool for decades will still be allowed to join, fear not, but we will also be offering the privilege to well-deserving outlets who have never been allowed to share in this awesome responsibility. On Wednesday, the administration announced that a television crew from Newsmax, a conservative network, and correspondents from The Blaze and Axios would be part of the pool at the White House. The administration said that the AP would continue to be barred from the pool.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. It's not funny to me. They're biased. Trump's in charge. What's the problem? When Joe Biden was there was one reporter, Ducey, that would ask him anything. Everybody else was biased in favor of him. Do you remember when Jen Psaki gave out cookies to the press corps? You don't remember that?
Hey, I hope you have a wonderful celebration this weekend, and thanks again for joining us. Great, well, thank you, everyone. As I promised yesterday, I promised snacks. I did not bring them in here, but my mother-in-law made homemade chocolate chip cookies for you guys. So there's one for each of you in here. We will do it in a COVID-safe way. But thanks, everyone, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And that Reuters would also not be allowed to participate. Now, Megyn Kelly, who worked as a reporter for Fox and in Trump's White House, explained that she's not super comfortable with the idea of the power trade-off. Take a look.
But I actually happen to believe the media should decide who's in pool. Like, because it's a matter of resources. It's just the TV lane alone. And they seem to be saying TV will not change. TV will decide who's doing TV. But the number of wires you've got to get in there to get the cameras ready, getting an experienced photog in there to make sure he gets moments like.
What is she talking about? I don't know what's going on right now. I know she came from Fox News, but that's not what we're talking about, Megyn Kelly. The wires coming in there. We're talking about who gets access. If I'm president and I know everybody in the press pool is against me, and the last guy who was president, everybody was for him, that's not going to work for me.
God forbid there's a presidential assassination attempt. Like, you can't f around with that.
Why did that come up? So bizarre.
You need true pros who have got a lot of experience, setting up a shot, being ready for breaking news.
I don't think Buck Sexton's really buying this.
I speak only from the TV realm because that's the one I know. I got questions about this before I really endorse it or criticize it.
Many publications and news.
Let's fast forward to Cenk and end on this. What a great rant by Cenk right here.
So I would listen to the whole thing, and Megyn Kelly was, as principled as she could be, right? She kept saying, like, I'm sure they have the right intentions, but I'm a little worried about it, and I really trust them, but I'm a little worried about it, right? Buck Sexton's like, what are you worried about? The people there are so smart. He's like, do you know how smart Jason Miller is? So he must have good intentions. Okay, that's hilarious on a couple of fronts, okay? Yeah. I don't think they're as smart as you think they are. Second of all, they could be really smart and have bad intentions, right? That doesn't prove that they have good intentions. Anyways, I'm trying to use logic, silly me. All right, so now to the heart of the issue, the actual issue. So I don't have a lot of love for the White House Correspondents Association. So Young Turks in the past and TYT as a network has tried to get in and get some press passes for Congress and the White House under Democratic administrations and Republican administrations. And they don't make the decisions, the administrations, the White House Correspondents Association does. And they're hilariously biased, hilariously. They'll say, oh, Young Turks, I don't know, you guys might be biased. I'm like, Fox News is in there. Well, they're not biased.
MSNBC.
Right, MSNBC's in there, and let alone like at the time there was like massively right-wing outlets. Somehow they weren't biased, but we were biased. Yeah. And so why do we bother those establishment media guys? Because we have trenchant critique of them. Hey, it looks like you're not saying obvious things like the donors giving money to the politicians seems to affect the legislation, like a lot, right? They're like, oh, you seem biased. Okay, no, of course it doesn't, right? So I got no love for them, none. So when you're talking about the White House press briefings, that's where people ask questions.
I feel like there's a but coming.
Should there be diversity in that room? Definitely. And I don't mind right-wingers in there. I hope they put some left-wingers in there. Independent media, no problem. I don't like the old system, okay? But for the pool, there's only a small number of people that get to go on there.
There's the but.
Okay, and their job is not necessarily to ask questions. They can, but their top job is to cover the event so that the rest of the media could get that footage, the pictures, the video, etc. Now imagine a situation where they have, instead of 3, 5 neutral or variety of folks going into the pool, they just have 5 right-wing outlets. Then you literally won't even know what happened in the room, right? Because you won't get to judge on your own because wait, did they leave something out?
Joe Biden couldn't recite the alphabet barely last time out. And you're concerned now? Here's my thing. If it wasn't a problem before, why is it a problem now? What is the answer to solve it? You tell me in the comments. What's the problem you're trying to solve? Name it. Like, is it the problem you're trying to solve is how do you choose who gets to cover the president? Then give me a solution for it. That's what I would like to know. Because until then, the president's gonna have to get his people in just like Biden has his.
The next clip is ready below.
Welcome to After Show Carnage.